What if the secret to living past 100 wasn't in your genes, but in your gut? Today, we're diving into what scientists have discovered about the microbiome, all of the living bacteria in super-centenarians, those people living well past 100, and why it might be the key to your own longevity. And yes, Andre, this video is for you. My dear friend Andre, who's attempting to break the Methuselah code. And as a reminder to all of you out there who Methuselah is, he was biblically recognized as the longest living human, living to 969 years of age. And Andre, with all the things that you do and all you've learned, I think you just might make it and beyond. And I'll be right there with you. So let's see if this is something we should add to the secret of longevity. And I'm going to look at some research here to determine whether or not this is enough to encourage us to do so. This is from a PubMed article about Akkermansia muciniphila being more prevalent in the gut microbiota of healthy older adults or long-lived populations, centenarians, those people living over 100, compared to a non-healthy older adult population. And it suggested that the upregulation of Akkermansia muciniphila abundance may be strongly associated with an increased healthy lifespan. Okay, that's a great start to the conversation. Let's learn more. There's this great article from Science Direct showing that gut microbiota and extreme longevity have a lot of research. Now, Akkermansia is the one I'm going to be talking about today just for the simplicity of this video. But that doesn't mean there aren't many other species, subspecies, and strains that could be associated with centenarians and super-centenarians. But the point of this is that we start to identify these, get them into the equation, and make sure that our microbiome is healthy, and we might be doing ourselves a huge favor in many other ways. In fact, studies have shown that Akkermansia can prolong the lifespan of prematurely aging mice and enhance the intestinal barrier, meaning that even though you may have already done some damage and prematurely aged, this might be something that can help undo that and change that. And that is exciting. That's what we're looking for, right? All the things are going to keep us healthy and happy and young. Another study here that I want to share with you from another PubMed article, and all of these I'm going to put in the links below for you. This study observed a significant reduction in the Akkermansia muciniphila in the feces of centenarians as their health gradually deteriorated. And this suggested that it plays a key role in maintaining healthy aging. And this makes perfect sense. And this reminds me that there are ways that you can actually check to see if you have this in your own feces. Now, I'm not saying that you should just look in there and try to see it with the naked eye. That's not going to be the way to do it. But there are tests that you can order, and I can provide them for you if you wish. In fact, I did myself, that you can take a sample of this, send it off to a lab, and they can give you an idea of whether or not it's in an appropriate amount there. It's an interesting walk to the post office, carrying around something that you'd usually leave somewhere else, and thinking about the fact that somebody's carrying that somewhere to a lab. But anyway, it's good information to get, and it's definitely worth it. Okay, so what are some other encouraging things about why we would go through and actually find this? Another clinical trial demonstrated that the oral assumption of pasteurized Akkermansia muciniphila in overweight or obese individuals significantly ameliorated insulin sensitivity, decreased insulinemia, and plasma total cholesterol. They slightly reduced the body weight compared to the placebo group. So multiple benefits of getting your microbiome right. A couple of things here. This reminds me, when I first started really putting my attention on understanding the diversity and the importance of a healthy microbiome, I had a lot of people coming to me who had a difficult time with a specific strain that is very dangerous to have too much of, and it's called C. difficile. And at the time, the way that people were getting treated with this was with a fecal implant, right? Taking healthy poo from a healthy person and putting it into the colon of an unhealthy person. Now, I was hopeful to find a more elegant solution, and luckily I did. And that's creating a protocol and a way that helps rebuild your gut, and a weed, seed, and feed protocol. And I can talk a lot more about that in another video if you'd like. Leave a comment and I'll be happy to do that. But this is all to say that you don't have to have that way to get this corrected. You can actually have an oral assumption of it, and it doesn't have to be in a poo pill either, which is what they were actually doing for a little while too. You can actually now find these in a pill that gives you these species, subspecies, and strain in a way that can help you rebuild your microbiome. And in fact, yes, Andre, I have already sent you a bottle that contains some of this so you can help making sure that that's a part of your equation. We can't stop there, though. We have to remember that just introducing a species into the colon does not guarantee it's going to live. We have to be much more mindful of the environment in which we're putting that species into. And again, that leads to a whole other video about rebuilding the gut microbiome, and we can talk more in depth. But back to Akkermansia. There are so many other things that this other article brought to my attention, showing that it isn't just about the longevity. Well, or maybe it is, and maybe it's all of these things, because it was also important, not just beyond the GI tract, but especially for the so-called gut brain and gut liver and gut bone and gut heart and gut adipose and gut muscle tissue axes, as well as cancer therapy. So there's so many other benefits of getting this together. Perhaps this is one of the most important pieces, and it's going to open the door to all these other important pieces that will hopefully get us to see Andre finally over 900 looking like this. Or could we actually learn enough to finally Benjamin Button him back to this version? We may have to wait 900 years to find out. Have a good one.